Good day, everyone. Welcome to my grade 8 mathematics class. So for this video lesson, the learning competencies will be: the learner illustrates the equivalences of A. The conditional statement and its contrapositive, and B. The converse and inverse of a statement. So for our review, these are the variation on the conditional statement. We have the conditional statement P implies Q. As English translation, that will be if P, then Q. For the converse, Q implies P, or if Q, then P. For inverse, not P implies not Q, or if not P, then not Q. For the contrapositive, not Q implies not P, or if not Q, then not P. Our topic for today is about the equivalent statements. Equivalent statements. Equivalent compound statements are made up of the same simple statements and have the same corresponding truth values for all true-false combination of these simple statements. If a compound statement is true, then its equivalent statement must also be true. If a compound statement is false, its statement must also be false. The implication P implies Q is always true except in the case that P is true and Q is false. So meaning, an if-then statement is false only when the hypothesis is true and the conclusion is false. So let us see the truth table for conditional statements. Since P is implies to Q, where P is the hypothesis and Q is the conclusion, then if the hypothesis is true and the conclusion is true, then the statement is true. If the hypothesis is true and the conclusion is false, then the statement is false. If the hypothesis is false and the conclusion is true, then the statement is true. If the hypothesis is false and the conclusion is false, then the statement is true. Okay, kung napansin nyo, nag-iisa lang po yung meron tayong false statement. Yung ang hypothesis niya ay true at yung conclusion niya ay false. So, therefore, the statement is false. So, let us have the truth table for conditional statements, converse, inverse, and contrapositive. For the conditional statements, so we have P implies Q, where P is the hypothesis and Q is the conclusion. If the hypothesis is true and the conclusion is true, then the statement is true. If the hypothesis is true and the conclusion is false, then the statement is false. If the hypothesis is false and the conclusion is true, then the statement is true. If the hypothesis is false and the conclusion is false, then the statement is true. As you can see, the false statement is in the second row. Okay, false po yung ating statement. Kasi yung hypothesis niya is true and yung conclusion daw niya ay false. Kaya po ang statement natin ay false. Next, for the converse. Sa converse po is Q implies P. Okay, so mauuna si conclusion bago si hypothesis. Okay, sa conclusion, kung ano yung value ng Q doon sa conditional or ng conclusion natin doon sa conditional, ay kokopyain lang natin dito. Kung true ang nakalagay dito, true din yan. Kung false, false din. Kung true, true din. False, false din. Okay, kung dito naman, sa P natin ay kukopyain lang din natin yung nasa hypothesis. Okay, so true, 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 false, 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 false. And then, kunin po natin yung kanyang truth value. So, true, true, true din po. False, true, true din. Okay, true, false, false din. False, false, true. Okay, so ang nangyari is, yung ating false statement ay nasa ating third row. Okay, so next. Inverse. Okay, sa inverse naman, meron tayong not P implies not Q. Okay, naka-negate na po dito ang ating P at saka yung Q. So, dito, not P, kung ang ating P ay true, kapag not P po siya, magiging false. Kapag true, magiging false. Kasi naka-negate na. So, yung false natin, magiging true. Yung false natin, magiging true. Kaya yung not Q natin, tingnan natin yung Q sa conditional. Kung ito ay true, pag inverse, magiging false. Kung false dito, magiging true. Kung true dito, magiging false. Pag false, magiging true. Yan po ay sa inverse. Kaya kung mapapansin natin, ang false statement ay nasa third row. Okay? So, dito, false, false, so true siya. False, true, so true siya. True, false, false. So, true, true, true. Okay, the false statement is in the third row. Okay, next, for the contrapositive, not Q implies not P. Okay, mauuna naman po rito si Q, pero naka-negate na siya. Susundan ni P na naka-negate na din. So, not Q, not P. Okay, yung value ng not Q natin, tignan lang natin sa inverse. Kukopyain lang natin. So, false, false. True, true. False, false. True, true. Yung P natin, ay yung not P natin, kopyain lang natin dito. False, 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 true, 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 true. Okay, then, ano yung truth values natin? So, false, false, true siya. True, false, false. False, true, true. True, true, true. So, ang ating false statement ay nasa second row. Okay, kung mapapansin nyo, dito sa ating conditional at sa ating contrapositive, the third column is the same or the same. So, pareho po silang true, false, true, true. So, dito rin sa contrapositive, true, false, true, true. So, pareho po sila. So, ang ibig sabihin po, the conditional and the contrapositive are the equivalent statements. Okay, so tingnan nyo, pareho si third column. So, therefore, conditional and contrapositive are the equivalent statements. Okay, next. Tingnan natin dun sa converse and inverse. So, ang third column din nila ay pareho. So, pareho silang true, true, false, true, 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 false, true. Therefore, ang ating converse and inverse are equivalent statements. Okay po? So, let us have equivalent statements. So, papatunayan natin or ipapakita natin dito na si conditional statement ay equivalent kay contrapositive. At si converse ay equivalent naman kay inverse. So, let us have conditional statement. Conditional statement, if P, then Q. Yung statement daw natin ay if a polygon is a square, then it is also a quadrilateral. So, ano po yung hypothesis? A polygon is a square. So, yan yung P. Tapos, yung ating conclusion, it is also a quadrilateral. So, yan po ang ating Q. Next, sa converse. If Q, then P. So, statement natin, if a polygon is a quadrilateral, then it is also a square. So, anong conclusion? A polygon is a quadrilateral. So, yan yung Q natin. Ano naman po ang ating hypothesis? It is also a square. So, yan yung P. Next, ano naman po sa inverse? Inverse, if not P, then not Q. Ang statement natin, if a polygon is not a square, then it is also not a quadrilateral. So, ano ang ating hypothesis? A polygon is not a square. So, not P siya. So, anong conclusion? It is also not a quadrilateral. So, ito naman yung ating not Q. Next, sa contrapositive. If not Q, then not P. So, ano ang statement natin? If a polygon is not a quadrilateral, then it is also not a square. So, ang ating conclusion, a polygon is not a quadrilateral. Ito po yung not Q natin. And then, ang ating hypothesis, it is also not a square. So, ibig sabihin, ito yung ating not P. Ngayon, paano natin malalaman if the statement is true or false? So, tingnan po natin. Sa conditional statement, sabihin niyo po kung ito ay true or false. Okay, so if a polygon is a square, then it is also a quadrilateral. Is it true or false? Okay, so ito po ay true. Bakit true? Kasi yung square daw is a quadrilateral. Pag sinabi natin quadrilateral, ito daw yung may apat na sides. Therefore, si square daw ay may apat na side, kaya siya ay quadrilateral. So, next. Sa converse, if a polygon is a quadrilateral, then it is also a square. So, is it true or false? So, ang sagot po dyan ay false. Bakit po? Kasi po, not all quadrilaterals are square. Hindi porke sinabi na quadrilateral, square na. Meron din tayong quadrilateral na rectangle, rhombus, trapezoid, o kaya naman ay parallelogram. So, kaya, hindi po natin masasabi na true yan kasi hindi lang naman square ang quadrilateral. Okay? Next, inverse. If a polygon is not a square, then it is also not a quadrilateral. So, ano kaya siya? So, ang sagot po dyan ay false. Hindi naman daw sabi dito, kapag daw yung polygon hindi daw square, hindi din daw siya quadrilateral. So, mali po yun. Kasi, sabi ko nga kanina, hindi lang naman square yung quadrilateral. May iba pa tayong klase ng quadrilateral, katulad nga ng rhombus, ng trapezoid, ng parallelogram, at saka ng rectangle. So, ibig sabihin, pag hindi siya square, hindi na rin siya quadrilateral. So, mali po yung statement na yun. Okay? So, next, sa contrapositive, if a polygon is not a quadrilateral, then it is also not a square. So, this statement is true. Siyempre, kung hindi siya quadrilateral, hindi siya apat na sides, so, siyempre, hindi rin siya square. Diba? Okay, so tingnan natin po yung mga statement natin. Okay, yung conditional statement natin at saka si contrapositive is pareho pong true. Therefore, they are equivalent statements. And si converse and inverse natin is pareho po silang false. Therefore, they are equivalent statements. Okay po? So, let us give the equivalent statement for the given statement. So, number 1. If you live in Pagumbong, then you live in Caloocan. Ano mapapansin nyo sa statement? Okay, wala po siyang word na not. Hindi siya naka-negate. So, ibig sabihin, hindi siya inverse, hindi din siya contrapositive. So, pwede siyang conditional, pwede siyang converse. So, what if pinili ko siya bilang conditional statement? Okay, ano nga ba ulit sa conditional statement? Kapag conditional statement, if P, then Q. So, ibig sabihin, mauna si hypothesis bago si conclusion. So, ano nga ba ang hypothesis ng ating first statement? Kaya yung statement po natin ay, you live in Bagumbong. So, ibig sabihin, siya po si hypothesis or si P. Next, ano naman ang conclusion? So, you live in Caloocan. So, ayan po ang ating Q. So, conditional statement po yan. Okay, next. Ano ang equivalent statement ng conditional? So, ang equivalent statement niya ay contrapositive. Kapag contrapositive, if not Q, then not P. So, magkakapalit lang po ng pwesto si hypothesis at si conclusion. Sa contrapositive, mauuna na yung Q bago yung P, and then i-negate po natin sila pareho. So, ito po yung example ng statement. If you do not live in Caloocan, then you do not live in Bagumbong. So, naka-negate na po sila. So, ang conclusion po natin dyan ay you do not live in Caloocan. So, siya na po yung ating not Q. And then, ano naman ang hypothesis? You do not live in Bagumbong. So, not P na po siya. Okay, so ito ay conditional, ito naman ay contrapositive. Next. Paano naman kung gagawin ko namang converse yung ating statement? Same statement, pero ito magiging converse. Okay. If you live in Bagumbong, then you live in Caloocan. So, gagawin natin converse. Pag sinabing converse, ito ay if Q, then P. So, mauuna yung conclusion bago yung hypothesis. So, ang conclusion natin dyan ay you live in Bagumbong. So, Q. Ano naman ang ating hypothesis? So, you live in Caloocan. So, ayan ang ating P. Ngayon, ano naman po ang equivalent statement ng converse? Equivalent statement niya ay inverse. Magiging if not P, then not Q. So, mag-i-negate lang natin si hypothesis at saka si conclusion. So, ano magiging statement natin? Magiging, if you do not live in Caloocan, then you do not live in Bagumbong. So, ano ang ating hypothesis? Ang hypothesis natin ay, you do not live in Caloocan. So, not P po siya. Next, ano yung conclusion? You do not live in Bagumbong. So, ayan po ang ating not Q. So, inverse po yan. Kaya kung mapapansin nyo, kahit ano man ang unahin ko, conditional man or converse, same statement lang po yung kalalabasan nila doon sa equivalent statement nila. Katulad dito, ang lumabas sa contrapositive, if you do not live in Caloocan, then you do not live in Bagumbong. So, dito rin sa inverse, same statement lang din lumabas. If you do not live in Caloocan, then you do not live in Bagumbong. So, pareho lang po. Okay, so number 2, if today is Sunday, then tomorrow is Monday. So, anong napansin nyo sa statement? Okay, so wala kayong nakitang word na not o kaya do not. So, ibig sabihin, hindi po siya naka-negate. So, hindi siya inverse, hindi siya contrapositive. So, pwede siya as conditional statement o kaya naman ay converse. What if i-take ko to as conditional statement? Pag conditional statement, if P, then Q. So, ano ang hypothesis natin dyan? Today is Sunday. Yan po ang ating P. Ano naman po ang ating conclusion? Today is Monday. So, yan po yung Q. Next, what is the equivalent statement for the conditional statement?
So, yung conditional statement ay ka-equivalent niya si contrapositive. So, pag contrapositive, if not Q, then not P. Or nakanegate si conclusion at saka nakanegate din si hypothesis. So, ito po yung statement natin. If tomorrow is not Monday, then today is not Sunday. So, pinagbaliktad lang to, pinagpalit ng pwesto. So, naging if tomorrow is not, kasi nakanegate na, Monday, then today is not Sunday. Nakanegate na rin. So, ang ating conclusion, tomorrow is not Monday. So, naka-not Q na siya. Tapos, ano naman ang ating hypothesis? Today is not Sunday. So, ito po ay not P. Naka-negate na rin. Next. What if ginawa ko tong statement na to as converse naman? Inuna ko yung conclusion bago yung hypothesis. So, converse. Kapag converse, if Q, then P. So, ano ang ating conclusion? Yung conclusion natin dyan is today is Sunday. So, ayan ay Q. At ang ating hypothesis, today is Monday. Ayan naman yung P. Next, what is the equivalent statement of converse? So, inverse naman. Pag inverse, if not P, then not Q. Nakanegate si hypothesis at nakanegate si conclusion. So, ito po yung statement. If tomorrow is not Monday, then today is not Sunday. So, ano ang ating hypothesis? Tomorrow is not Monday. Ayan po ang ating hypothesis o yung ating not P. Kasi nakanegate na rin. Okay, yung today is not Sunday, siya po ang ating not Q. Or yung conclusion. Ayan, not Q na siya. Okay, may tanong po. Ngayon, kung mapapansin nyo, ito, mapa-conditional man o mapa-converse, pareho lang po sila ng equivalent statement. Kasi sa contrapositive, if tomorrow is not Monday, then today is not Sunday, ang nakuha mo rin na sagot sa inverse ay, if tomorrow is not Monday, then today is not Sunday. So kahit na sino ang una sa kanila, pareho lang po sila ng equivalent statement.
Okay, so number 3. If a number is not a prime, then the number is not 5. So, ano kaya siya? Conditional, converse, inverse, or contrapositive? Okay, so mapapansin nyo, meron siyang word na not. So, ibig sabihin, pwede siyang maging inverse o kaya naman ay contrapositive. Okay, what if tinake ko to as contrapositive? Okay, kapag contrapositive, if not Q, then not P. I-negate po natin si conclusion at saka si hypothesis. So, ano ngayon dyan ang conclusion? A number is not a prime. So, ito po yung ating not Q. Ano naman po ang ating not P or yung hypothesis? The number is not 5. So, ayan po yung not P. Next, what is the equivalent statement of contrapositive? So, conditional. Pag conditional, if P, then Q. Okay, magiging statement natin, if a number is 5, then it is a prime number. So, ang ating hypothesis dyan, a number is 5. Ano naman ang conclusion? So, ito po. Ang conclusion ay, it is a prime number or ito po yung ating Q. So, next. Paano naman po kung yung statement na to ay gagawin naman nating inverse? Okay, kapag inverse ay if not P, then not Q. Okay, same statement, pero gagawin lang natin tong inverse. Okay, mauuna yung P bago yung Q, pero nakanegate sila. Okay, so dito sa inverse na to, Ano ang hypothesis? Okay, hypothesis, a number is not a prime. So, ito ang ating not P. Ano naman ang conclusion? The number is not 5. So, ito po ang ating not Q. Conclusion. Next, ano naman ang equivalent statement ng inverse? So, converse po. Kapag converse, if Q, then P. So, mauna si conclusion bago si hypothesis. Ano magiging statement? If a number is 5, then it is a prime number. So, ano ngayon dyan ang ating conclusion? Conclusion natin, a number is 5. So, ito po yung Q. Ano naman ang P? Or the hypothesis? It is a prime number. Okay? So, ganun pa rin. Kahit na sino ang mauna sa kanila, contrapositive ba o inverse, dahil pareho ng statement, pareho lang din yung lalabas na equivalent statement nila. Okay, so number 4, if a polygon is regular, then its angles are congruent. So, ano po yung ating statement? Ano napansin nyo? Okay, so wala siyang word na not. So, ibig sabihin, hindi siya inverse, hindi rin siya contrapositive. So, pwede siya sa conditional o kaya ay sa converse. Okay, what if i-take ko to as conditional statement? Okay, kapag conditional, if P, then Q. Yung hypothesis po natin dyan ay a polygon is regular. Siya yung ating P. At ang ating conclusion, its angles are congruent. So, ayan po ang ating Q. Next, what is the equivalent statement of conditional statement? So, ang kanyang equivalent statement ay contrapositive. Yung if not Q, then not P. Inenegate lang natin si conclusion at saka si hypothesis. So, magiging statement natin ay, if all angles of a polygon are not congruent, then it is not regular. So, ang ating not Q or yung ating conclusion ay all angles of a polygon are not congruent. At ang atin naman pong hypothesis or yung not P ay it is not regular. Next. Okay, what if i-take ko naman as converse? So, pagpapalitin ko ng pwesto yung Q at saka yung P. So, kapag ka-converse, ito po ay if Q, then P. Okay? So, pag ito naman, converse, mauna yung conclusion, magiging ang conclusion niya ay a polygon is regular. Ano naman ang ating hypothesis? Its angles are congruent. So, ayan po ang ating P. Next, ano equivalent statement ng converse? So, inverse. Kapag inverse, if not P, then not Q. So, ano magiging statement? Magiging, if all angles of a polygon are not congruent, then it is not regular. Okay? So, ano ang magiging hypothesis? All angles of a polygon are not congruent. So, not P po natin siya. Ano naman ang conclusion? It is not regular. So, ito ang ating not Q. Ganun pa rin, kahit baliktarin pa natin or pagpalitin natin ang pwesto o alin man ang mauna dyan, kung converse ba or conditional, ang equivalent statement po natin ay pareho pa rin. Okay, class. Remember, the conditional statement and contrapositive are equivalent statements. The converse and inverse are equivalent statements. If a conditional statement is true, then its equivalent statement is also true. If a conditional statement is false, then its equivalent statement is also false. For your activity, answer the following questions. For number 1, what is the equivalent statement of converse? For number 2, what is the equivalent statement of contrapositive? For number 3, if the conditional statement is true, then its contrapositive is blank. For number 4, if the not P implies not Q is false, then Q implies P is blank. Number 5. What is the truth value of the statement if the hypothesis and conclusion are both false? Okay, so for the answers, number 1, inverse. Number 2, conditional statement. Number 3, true. Number 4, false. Number 5, true. Thank you for watching this video.